Okay, thanks. Well then, welcome to our talk on text integration into the Handschriftenportal. My name is Annika Schröer. I'm from Leipzig University Library. And in this project, I'm working as the product owner for the search and presentation functionalities. I will give you a very short walk through the portal to get an idea of our goals of the system, as well as what we actually mean by descriptive texts. And after that, Leander Seige, who is head of IT in Leipzig, will dive into the technical details and the still open questions of the implementation of text content into a Mirador 3 viewer. Sorry. So this is our public test version of what will become the central information platform for medieval and early modern manuscripts in German collections. When I say we, I actually refer to our project group. This is a DFG, so German Research Foundation founded project. And we are these 4 libraries, so Berlin State Library, Leipzig University Library, Bavarian State Library in Munich, and the Herzog August Library in Wolfenbüttel, who are cooperating in this project. So the portal itself has a manuscript centered approach. I just search for one manuscript here. Manuscript or object-related approach means that all the content that we have in here is aggregated or grouped by the manuscript it refers to. And for each manuscript, we are storing some basic metadata, just like the holding institution, date of origin, place of origin, and so on, extant, material, all those basic information. And on top of that, we are storing or linking other content that is, in this case, at the moment, manuscript descriptions and digital images. Those contents can be opened and transferred to our workspace. This is over here. And the workspace is essentially an integrated Mirador 3 viewer. So at this point, we are really leveraging IIIF because those digital images only need to be registered as objects to the Handschriftenportal, and the manifests and all the data, like the images themselves, of course, they can remain at the repositories. So this is a link to a manifest on a server in Leipzig here. As I just pointed out, the focus of the portal is, besides those digital facsimiles or images, on manuscript descriptions. So these descriptions, they are actually not comparable to what we know by library data, bibliographic metadata, because they are really full texts and they are the outcome of an academic research process. So our longest descriptions can be up to, I think, 50 pages, and they contain really, really deep discussions of the history, for example, of a manuscript, or the physical appearance of the manuscript, and of course about everything that is related to the content, so about the texts, about illustrations, and so on. As these descriptions themselves are part of a research process and are published material themselves, they can also themselves become again the focus of further academic discussion. So when we plan on integrating annotations in the portal, we also need to be able to annotate texts like this one. The portal is superseding an existing service that is called Manuscripta Medievalia, that's here. And for that reason, we have quite different content, legacy content, that we import into the portal. So on the one hand, we've got manuscript descriptions that come as born digital content. that is imported into the portal as XML TEI files. And on the other hand, we can also have printed catalogs, so manuscript descriptions that were initially printed and published, and they look like this one over here. These printed resources and catalogs were scanned in the project, and they were subject to an OCR process. And we are currently working on transforming them to IIIF resources. So that is pretty straightforward in terms of the IIIF standard. And we will also be able to make use of the text overlay plugin, for example, by the Bavarian State Library. So in the end, those originally printed resources will become very usual normal IIIF image resources, and we will have usual IIIF image pixel-based annotations. Yes, and on the other hand, there are our born digital resources that we want to integrate into an image viewer, and how we are planning to do this is what Leander will tell you about now, so I'll hand over to him now. You're muted, Leander.
So thank you very much, Annika. I think you can see my screen now, don't you?
Yes.
Okay, so first of all, I would like to thank you, our colleague Lutz Helm, who prepared these slides and this part of the talk, but unfortunately, Lutz is not available today, so I jump in and try to explain the difficulties and questions and approaches we have. As Annika said before, one of our biggest questions right now is how to handle these born digital text in the context of the Handschriftenportal and of course in the context of IIIF. Our first idea was to understand IIIF manifests of some sort of container or envelope for the actual TEI files, or maybe follow the other content approach, which is available in the presentation API definition. But we always come to the point where we recognize that born digital text files do not have a physical original. That means they do not have physical dimension like width and height, or it doesn't even, they don't even have an aspect ratio. So, and they are made for continuous display with flexible font size and flexible dimensions. And yeah, this gives us a problem in realizing this part of the Handschriftenportal. One approach my colleagues had is described here. We could just use the basic manifest structure with canvas items and annotation pages and annotations nested in each other, and finally have a body element with the ID pointing to the actual TEI XML source file. But we still feel like there are some kind of philosophical questions. What actually is a canvas? Does it even match the canvas idea of IIIF if we use it for born digital material? And of course, there's the second question: how can we locate region on canvases to assign user-generated annotations or other logical structures on such canvases without physical dimensions, and of course without XYWH coordinates. So maybe we should go with XPath selectors or other solutions. we had a question how to understand these requirements of the IIIF presentation specification. It says that width and height are required, or the duration is required, or at least one of them. So I think this is a point where we are not clear if we can be presentation compatible. The idea of the Handschriftenportal of our web front-end is to use a Mirador as the main component to display IIIF content side by side with non-IIIF content with born digital texts. And of course, to have functionalities to interact between all these documents. So our next question was, how can we turn TEI to HTML so that it can be displayed by a browser? There are at least two options to do this, either on the server side or on the client side. Another requirement from our side was to have the TEI documents as persistent citable documents on the net, which from my perspective speaks for a client-side rendering. But the server-side rendering also has many advantages. So right now in the current alpha version of the Handschriftenportal, we use server-side rendering. That means there is a processor running on our server, pre-processing the TEI file, turning them into HTML. So the front end only has to get these HTML renderings from the server. We also thought about implementing client-side rendering, but in the first place we stopped it because it was difficult to find a good approach to do XSLT transformation in the client. There are several options to do it in JavaScript, but none of us seemed to work as we needed it. But there are also many disadvantages from our perspective. The pre-processing of TEI files requires the pre-processing of all files, even if there are smallest changes. We have the problem that if a user creates annotations on those HTML elements, we have to track somehow how these annotations are assigned to the actual XML source files. This would be not a very easy task. And yeah, another question would be, is it a problem if there's more than one way to create an identifying XPath expression for the same location? Maybe it is okay, maybe not quite sure. And the last problem with server-side rendering is that with this approach, we can only show our own content from our own server. But if we would like to use TEI files from other providers, from other institutions, for instance, then we really would have to implement client-side rendering. At least it would be much easier than passing it all through a server-side service. So right now, we are currently in development. We try to implement client-side rendering with in pure JavaScript. So, but we try to create React components to render the TEI MS Desc sections. But of course, we would like to avoid reinventing XSLT. So I think this point is not really solved yet. In this case, the React elements keep track to the original XML nodes. So annotating should be a little bit easier because the front end already knows the exact XPath expression to certain regions in the original XML file. Yes, this is the universe of our current problems and questions. How to handle born digital TEI texts in the context of IIIF in Mirador, so to speak. We want these texts side by side with original IIIF content, and we want to annotate it just as we annotate the images. So if you have ideas, if you have comments, maybe solutions to recommend, then please get in contact with us. We are very interested in discussing these questions. And here is how you can get actually in contact with us. You can check out our public alpha portal, or send us an email or contact us via Twitter. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you both. Yeah, really great in-depth look into some thorny problems, I'm sure. Maybe just for people's ease, would it be possible to paste that contact info and that link into the Whova chat, just so that people might be able to click it rather than copy it down? And I'm just looking to see if we have just a few minutes, maybe for one question. I don't see anything in the Q&A, but I do see a comment from Jeff Witt suggesting why not apply annotations to word token ranges within an element. And then he's got some more detail there, but I guess curious if that's something you took a look at all.
I didn't really understand what has been suggested by Jeff.
And I'm afraid I'm probably not the one to explain it in more depth, but I guess you could take a look at the he's written a little bit more detail in the chat there. Oh, and it looks like, all right, let me see if I can unlock Jeff's microphone on my end. I don't know if I can do that. Well, perhaps, oh, Jeff, are you able to clarify? I don't know. Well, sorry about that. It may not be, maybe his end, maybe our end, I'm not really sure. But I think in that case, we are probably coming up right against the time of the session, but this has been really great. Sounds like there is sort of some ongoing conversation to have. So follow up in the Whova chat or by email with Annika and Leander, who put their emails there. So I'll say thank you to you both for presenting. Thanks all for joining us, and I'll end the recording now so we can move on to other sessions. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.